a video on these nuts that I've had in the back of the cupboard for a while. They're a little bit out of date. So I kind of thought, well, what we're going to do, we'll have to do something with them because they've been there for ages. Other than throw them away, you could just kind of throw them away, but I'm not going to do that because I don't like food waste. I'm going to roast them and then I'm going to turn them into nut flours. I did it with some hazelnuts the other day and it worked out pretty quite well. They're a bit, they're not roasted. So I kind of thought what we'll do first is we'll roast them, see if we can improve the flavour, and then we'll turn them into a flour once they're cool. Just out of curiosity more than anything, and my friend gave me a liquidizer blender as a gift, and I kind of thought she does a lot of baking, so what I really should do is I should really give her some something in return. So I'll give her the nut flour because she was saying that she was making some using almond flour the other day and it was really expensive. So if we kind of go through the prices of these things, I've jotted it down. So I didn't pay this price for them because they're like 3 years old now. They were going to be a lockdown project. So if we're looking at almond flour, it's about 300 grams and it's about £3.35. These cashews in this form, 700 grams is £6.99 and a kilo of peanuts is £4.49. So there's a vast amount of money to be saved if we're going to make our own nut flours. The only thing is obviously if we're using peanuts, and people have got a peanut allergy, so you can't reuse peanuts if you've got a peanut allergy. Also, one of my college lecturers, he used to cut down on costs and things. He used to use half peanut flour and half almond flour to kind of cut the cost down to things because peanuts are a lot cheaper. Can't really do that these days because people have got seem to have got more nut allergies these days, so you just need to be a little bit careful. But they're a little bit bland, so we're going to give them a roast and then we'll see how they turn out roast, and then we'll turn them into a flour and see how they turn into flours. I'll just taste. Yeah, boring, not much flavour to them at all. So they taste like the peanuts that you get out of that come in the shells. So I'm not going to make loads and loads, and I forgot what temperature it said. Oh yeah, so that'll be about enough of that. And I suppose once we've roasted them, we could salt them and see how they turn out, because making your own roast nuts would be kind of quite interesting. These are a bit bland, I'm sure. Yeah, they're much nicer when they're roasted. Anyway, so 160, 170 degrees, something like that for the record. Well, I looked online and it said 20-25 minutes, so we'll see what they're like in 25 minutes time. Alrighty, let's have a look. Ooh, just about on the turn of the cashew nuts. So those cashew nuts don't really be done any more than that. If things go a little bit, if they'd got any, the heat in the pan will carry on cooking those. So if they're a little bit further on, what would have done is would have taken them out of the pan, because we don't want to cook any more than that. And I think those peanuts could do with a little bit more. So they've had 25 minutes. Let's stick them in for another 5 and see how they turn out. And we'll just give these a little bit of a taste. Much nicer than being roasted. So if you want to save yourself a little bit of money, buy the ones that aren't roasted and roast them yourself. You'll certainly get them a lot cheaper. And then I would add, if I was to add salt to them, I'd add it now. Let's add a little bit of salt to these, and then kind of see. I suppose we should roast them with the salt, if we're going to do salty ones, and then the salt would have stuck to the cashew nuts as the oils kind of came out of them. But let's just see how they taste salted. Very nice. Very nice. So, we'll do the peanuts another 5 minutes until they look like that, and then we'll let them cool, and then we'll turn them into a flour and see how the flour turns out. I have ground the peanuts. Now, they're not fine, there's still some, it's not like flour fine. There are some bigger chunks in there, but I don't think, well, that's not so bad. Once you go run it through your fingers, it's starting to clump together, which gives me the idea that if I'd carry on processing that, it would have turned into peanut butter. So, we know that making your own peanut flour works. I don't think you're really supposed to roast it. That's a lot darker than almond flour is. So, that can go to my friend. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. And let's have a go at making a flour from these cashew nuts, which I suppose is sacrilege because cashew nuts are so expensive. But anyway, we'll have a go. Cable's not long enough, so I'm having to faff around with this. How's that looking? That's looking alright. It's looking alright. A little bit more. That's alright, isn't it? Looks like it's done the job. Now it's a little bit, could do a little bit longer, but that's certainly working. It's certainly turning into a flour. You don't, well, nut flours never go to as fine as regular flours, but if we carry on processing that, that's certainly going to break down into a flour. So therefore, we can buy our own nuts a lot cheaper. So if you look at, I mean, it's like a third the price. So like almond flour, it's like a third of the price to make your own peanut flour, you know, and like half the price to make no, it's about the same price to make cashew flour, you know, which cashew nuts are a lot more expensive. And I suppose you could do the same with almonds. So if you could buy whole blanched almonds, you could make your own almond flour a lot cheaper. Although it's obviously all the imperfect almonds and nuts to make nut flours, don't they, and peanuts type of thing, and then they keep all the whole ones to be sold whole and looking pristine. But anyway, so we can certainly make our own nut flours. I don't think you need to roast it, but if they've gone a little bit stale because they've been in the cupboard because you're supposed to do something with them from lockdown but never got around to it, which was 3 years ago, then you can just revitalise them with a little bit of roasting and then turn them into a roast nut flour. There we go, a success.